Prashna Upanishad in Simple English, Part 2. Then Garg asked the fourth question. Venerable Sir, what are they that sleep in this person? What are they that keep awake in him? What is the God that sees the dreams? Whose is this happiness? In whom are all these established? Piplad replied, Dear Garg, as all the rays of the setting sun converge and become one in this circle of light when the sun sets, and spread out again when the sun rises again and again, even so does everything converge and become one in the Supreme God, in the mind. Therefore, in that state, the person does not hear, he does not see, he does not smell, he does not taste, he does not touch, he does not speak, he does not take, he does not emit, and he does not move. Then it is said, he sleeps. The fires of life alone remain awake in this city, in this body. This householder's fire is the out breath. The southern sacrificial fire is the diffused breath. The in breath is the oblation fire from being taken, since it is taken from the householder's fire. The equalizing breath is called as such because it equalizes the two oblations, the in-breathing and the out-breathing. The mind indeed is the sacrificer, and the fruit of sacrifice is the up-breath. It leads the sacrificer every day to Brahm. In deep sleep, the soul is said to be one with Brahm, only we do not know it. There in sleep, that God who is mind experiences greatness. He again sees what he has seen. He again hears whatever he has heard. He again experiences, again and again, whatever he has experienced in different places and directions. And he has new experiences too. Being all, he sees all. He sees what has been seen, and he sees what has not been seen. He hears what has been heard, and he hears what has not been heard. He experiences what has been experienced, and what has not been experienced. He sees what is existent and what is non-existent. He sees all. He sees each and everything. When he is overcome with light, then in this state, the God who is mind sees no dreams. Then here in this state arises happiness, and his whole being is pervaded with happiness. He is enveloped by happiness. Even as birds, dear Gargya, go to a tree for rest, so too does everything here resort to the Supreme Self as their resting place. They all find their rest in the Supreme Self. Earth and the elements of earth, water and the elements of water, fire and the elements of fire, air and the elements of air, ether and the elements of ether, sight and what can be seen, hearing and what can be heard, smell and what can be smelled, taste and what can be tasted, the skin and what can be touched, speech and what can be spoken, hands and what can be handled, the organ of generation and what can be enjoyed, the organ of excretion and what can be excreted, the feet and what can be walked, the mind and what can be perceived, the intellect and what can be conceived, the self sense and what can be connected with the self, thought and what can be thought, radiance and what can be illumined, life breath and what can be supported by it. In short, the Sankhya principles of the 5 cosmic elements, the 10 organs of perception and action, mind, intellect, self-sense and thought, together with light and life. He truly is the seer, the toucher, the hearer, the smeller, the taster, the perceiver, the knower, the doer, the thinking self, the person. He becomes established in the supreme, undecaying self. The subject self becomes established in the spirit, which transcends all duality, which transcends even the distinction between subject and object. He who knows the shadowless, the bodiless, the colorless, the pure, and the undecaying self, he truly attains the supreme undecaying self. Dear Garg, he who knows as such, he becomes all knowing and he becomes all. In confirmation of this, there is also this verse: He who knows that undecaying self, in which are established the self, which is of the nature of intelligence, which is of the nature of the vital breaths, and which is of the nature of the elements, along with all the gods and the powers, he becomes all knowing himself and he enters all. Then Satyakam asked the fifth question: Venerable Sir, among men, the person who meditates on the syllable Om until the end of his life, what world does he win by that meditation? Piplad replied, Dear Satyakam, that which is the sound Om is both the higher and the lower Brahm. It is both the unqualified absolute Brahm and it is the qualified personal Ishwar. Therefore, with this support alone does the wise man reach the one or the other, the higher or the lower Brahm. If he meditates on Om as consisting of only one element A, if he meditates only on the element A of Om, then he, enlightened even by that, comes back quickly to the earth after death. The verses of the Rig Veda lead him back into the world of men. There, endowed with austerity, chastity, and faith, he experiences greatness. Then, if he meditates on Om as consisting of two elements, A and U, he attains the mind. He is led by the formulas of the Yajurveda to the intermediate space, the world of the moon, and having experienced greatness there, he again returns to the world. But if he meditates on the syllable Om with all the three elements A, U, and M as one, he meditates on the highest person. He becomes one with the light. He becomes totally illumined. He becomes one with the sun. Just as a snake is freed from its skin, even so is he freed from all his sins. He is led by the chants of the Samved to the world of Brahma, the world of Hiranyagarbha, who is the Lord of Satyalok, the world of truth, who is the self of all living beings travelling in this world. He sees the person that dwells in the body, who is higher than the highest life. The knower of the three elements, A, U, and M, sees the Supreme beyond the Hiranyagarbha. He obtains liberation and does not return to mundane life in this world. He sees the Supreme Ishwar, who is beyond the world soul, and that vision qualifies him for liberation. The three elements, A, U, and M, each by themselves lead to death. But if they are united to each other, without being separated, and employed in actions well performed, external, internal, or intermediate, the knower does not falter, he remains steady. The three elements of Om separately are a symbol of mortality. But if interconnected, they take one beyond mortality. The interconnection of the three elements A, U, and M indicates the interrelatedness of the three worlds of the waking world, the dream world, and the sleep world. The person meditating as such becomes one with the personal supreme Ishwar. He obtains Sarv Atmatva. He attains oneness with all beings. He becomes one with the whole universe and is not disturbed, as there is then nothing independent of him. There is then nothing separate from him. With the Rig verses, one attains this world. With the Yajus formulas, one attains the interspace. And with the Saman chants, one attains to that which the seers recognize. That the wise one attains even by the mere sound Om as support. That which is tranquil, that which is unaging, that which is immortal, fearless, and supreme. The supreme status beyond the three worlds, the state of Turiya. Finally,